Hello, everyone, and today I want us to talk about substance use counselors. And there are certified addictions counselors, and there are those who are licensed substance use counselors. And really, the difference is going to lie in, perhaps the level of education. For certified addictions counselors, they are not required to have a master's degree, versus the licensed substance use counselor is. Okay, and with either professional, the focus is going to be in assessing and treating substance use disorders, okay, which would include, alcohol and drug related challenges that a person might be facing. And I think it's important to note here that unless the individual, is duly licensed, to be able to treat and diagnose mental health conditions, if the person that they're seeing, and there's a need to diagnose or treat, or they just maybe needing some more specialized, help in mental health, then, they should probably refer out if they're not licensed or able to provide that treatment themselves. And I think it's important to note because we know that substance use and mental health tend to co-occur. So it's likely that it's going to come up in treatment at some point. And it's not to say that a substance use counselor should shy away from that. I'm just simply saying that if it gets to a point that there's a diagnosis to be made and there's treatment, specifically for that diagnosis, that should be handled by, the licensed mental health professional. But it still leaves, room and should be a collaboration that's happening ongoing between whoever is involved professionally, with that particular client. Okay, and so I hope this video was helpful. Again, this is just a very, very broad and basic overview, but just hopefully a good start for you to understand some of these acronyms and start doing some research and finding out who's going to be the best person for you. And when it comes to something like substance use, because we're getting a little bit more specific as we did with the LMFTs, if I think it's important to note what your goal is. If the primary goal is substance use, then maybe see a substance use person. If the primary goal, is, couples and family, then maybe you see that person. But again, as I've said, in prior videos, it's really going to come down to the provider themselves and what they are licensed, to be able to do, and ultimately, where their professional experience lies and your comfort level with them, or otherwise, what I call as the goodness of fit. And so it's a matter of personal preference, but at least you can make an informed decision. Okay. And so again, hope this was helpful, and I'll see you back for the next one.